Okay, so I'm going to make this tutorial for Chris. So Sam, I'm making this for you and Chris. Easy peasy. I really want you to try to follow along with this. Don't just watch me literally, go and say, okay, I'm going to follow along with this and see, what needs to be said here. So, try to actually do these steps. Don't just don't just look at what I'm doing and then think it's easy. Like, take your time. So we're pulling this open first and we're cropping it. Now we're going to look at it. Yeah, it looks like it's in good shape. Control 0 to zoom in to Control 1 to zoom to full view. Control 0 to, fit to stage. Okay? So just get there. Just pause the video and get to that step. Now we're going to export this. Quick export as PNG. And we're going to export it, and we're going to just, we're going to call it, Oh, How He Loves Us, Cross, Jesus, Masculine. All right, there we go. I'm going to rename that OG. I'm going to put an OG at the end. So just right arrow _OG. All right. Now we're going to go to ChatGPT. We're going to load that cropped one up. It's really important that we cropped in like that just to get closer around it. And I'm going to say we are recreating this design. You need to separate the layers for Photoshop. So the prompt is all about the actual image, right? So I'm telling it that I just want Jesus, the cross in his robe, isolated on white, high detail, vector art style. And we recreated this design. We need to separate the layers for Photoshop. So I also mentioned his robe because I was worried that it would not create the robe if we didn't ask it to. See, just because there's this separate part. So let's just see, if this works. Okay, pretty great. No problems with that. So now I'm going to start a new chat, and we'll just do a new chat. And we'll look at what we downloaded here. So we'll open this up with Photoshop. All right. Yeah, we can crop in. We don't want to go too close to the edge. All right, so let's export that. We'll just call it the same thing. It's okay. It's just a in-betweener. And so now I want to... So we're going to ask you to refine this and do a better job. So by isolating these layers, we're going to get better artwork out of ChatGPT. Okay, we got a much better design, but it's kind of lost the color palettes. I don't know. I really kind of like this. This is kind of what you deal with. So do a new chat. let's just go back to the original. Okay, and sometimes we just back up, you know. We don't always charge forward. You know, we've got different versions of this now. Let's see. So that's the original. That's our pulled isolated one. Let's see. That's our higher detail one. You know, men are going to like the higher detail. But this is like lost, you know, we need to still sell it to a woman. So, all right, we're going to stay with this one. This is the way we're going. Okay, I need the background, color splatter isolated, keep the shape and form, and just render isolated on the layer. Hopefully, I should have told her white, but hopefully she gets that. Yep, that's working for me. So let's just download that. Okay, so now we've got some elements. We can start putting things together. So let's start off with upscale. I'm going to get the right one. Let's go pretty big. Yeah, that's good. And let's upscale that splatter. I'm going to go even bigger on the splatter just in case. That's really big. That's really pushing it. Okay, I'm just going to close everything in my Photoshop. We could leave that. Let's leave that. So let's just make this big. We're going to do image size. We'll set it to 300, and then we'll take it on out to like 6,000. And we'll hit OK. And then Control 1. No, Control 0. It's always the opposite one that I'm going for. All right, back on our Move tool. Let's actually upscale that image, actually. Let's do that. Let's upscale this one. And we will take that out a lot because we're going to go really big. All right. Yeah, we'll close this. We're just going to upscale that original because we need that text. All right, so we're open that with Photoshop. So I'm just going to take that upscaled one and open it with Photoshop. All right. And then let's just see if we can pull the text off this layer. I think we can. Yeah, in fact, what we're going to do is we're just going to turn off contiguous and try to get all the black. Yep, 80. Contiguous off. And I am just going to Alt. I'm holding Alt. And I'm just being picky about where I grab black. Making sure that it's not touching anything else or connected in any way. No, I want to go up here. All right. And then I'll just grab my marquee tool, hold Alt, and get all of this. All right, so now I've just got the text, Control C, Control Shift V. We're going to do a blending options on this. Color overlay, make sure it's pure black. Hit OK, OK. All right, and then can we grab this? I think so. I don't know. I think this needs to be improved. Let's just take this. Actually, we want to just select it. So I'm just going to select it, click the layer, Control C, and then we're going to go back here and we're going to say we'll let her work on that. All right, and now we'll go back to Photoshop. So we got our text, O-L-E. Alright. And that's isolated and looks good. Control D to deselect. Let's pull in our upscaled. And let's lower the opacity of that one. So I'm going to call this Jesus and the cross. And then I'm going to position it where it's about right. Control T. I'm not holding shift. I started out holding it and I realized I was making a mistake. Alright, we're just going to position that. So that it matches the original as well as possible. So that, you know, that little bit of opacity is helping. And see how I keep scooting it up and to the right? And it looks like it's not going to ever match perfectly, which is something that we have to accommodate with when we're working with AI. So we're just going to go for the middle here and try to get the cross about right. And try to, you know, just fudge the difference. We could do a tiny shift. I held shift and pulled it just a little bit. Don't do too much of that ever. Like, you don't want to distort things. But, all right, now let's click into it. We're going to grab this magic wand. We're going to turn our contiguous back on. Control D to deselect. I don't see any hidden stuff. That looks like that's got it pretty good. All right, we're just going to do our select, modify, expand. We'll do 1 pixel. We'll right click here, layer from background. And then we'll hit delete. Then we'll do image, trim, transparent pixels, and then we'll do Control S. And we will save this document at this moment. And we're just going to call it, Oh, How He Loves Us, Jesus Cross Masculine, save. Okay. And there's the overlay. Just really having trouble fitting that to the original, but it's about right. Okay, let's click on this text. And then let's do select, modify, expand. And we're going to do a lot, like 100. And I'm just going to turn this off. Yeah, see how that's going to form that cutoff right there, just like it was before. And it's giving us texture. So what we're going to do is we're just going to turn this back on. And we're going to do layer, mask, hide selection. And so hopefully that's okay. And now we'll drag in our upscaled backgrounds. We'll pull that in. Let's double click into it. On this, we're just going to ditch all the white. So we're going to turn off, we're going to keep contiguous. Turn off contiguous. Select. We'll do layer from background. We'll do select, modify, expand by 3. I don't think so. We need to make our tolerance way lower. All right, Control D. Yeah, just give me the white. Select, modify, expand. Let's go 5. No, that's taking away too much detail. Select, modify, expand. Let's go 3. And then we're going to do select, modify, smooth. And we're just going to smooth by 2. And then we're going to hit delete. And then we're going to look at this against a solid color of black. Yeah, it's working for me. I'm happy with it. Let's do select, modify, contract by 2. Control Shift I, and then let's hit delete. So that would have gotten rid of a lot of little tiny things. Possibly created more. All right, let's delete this layer. Let's do image trim. And then we'll hit Control S. And now we'll hit Control T. I'm holding Alt. Whoops. Hold Alt. I have no idea. I think let's change let's Control T. Hold Alt. And let's pull this out. We'll kind of match this up. That looks right. And then we'll drag it below Jesus. And then let's just look at that layer. I think I want to do an adjustment layer. I'm going to do layer, new adjustment layer, and we're going to do levels. And create crippling mask just to this this background. I'm going to put that, oh, how he loves us above everything. Oh, and I see the problem down here at the bottom. See where he's coming through the bottom there. So we'll just select that mask. We're going to hit B. We're going to make our brush really big, and we're just going to paint away all that part. And like that little thing right there. And we might even paint some whites. Let's paint some white in here. So let's switch. I think we should bring some of this back. That's nice, right? Okay. And then we're going to come up here. Yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape with this. There's our levels. We're going to adjust our levels. Let's just deepen some of these blacks. So we just deepen blacks on just the background. I think that makes it look better. And then we just need the verse. So let's pop over here. There she blows. Let's pull open Inkscape. Let's load it in. Let's trace it. Let's look at the results. Pretty happy with it. Control Shift R. File, save as. And we're just going to call it verse. We will pop back over to Photoshop. We'll turn our original on there so we can see where the verse lays. We'll put the verse on the stage. We'll put it up at the top. We'll hit Control T. It is a smart object, so we can transform it however we like. And I'm just going to teach us to do this every single time. We're going to go look this verse up. We do with a lot of Bible verses. And if we're wrong, people are going to have us like reprint it, you know? So, all right, so just get the placement about right. Okay, so it's not an exact quote, but it defines his love as proactive and sacrificial. So I think that it is appropriate. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do blending options on this, and we're going to do stroke. We know we want white, we know we want outside, and we want to make it pretty thick so that it really stands out. And now we can turn this off. We don't want that off. This is our artwork. Control G, artwork. I like to turn this layer on and convert it to a smart object and then turn it off so we always have the background where we came from. Let's do image trim, transparent pixels. We're going to do image size. And we're going to set it to 4500. I'm going to set this to 300. 4500. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to do File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. We're going to name this 4500px RTP mic. And we're going to hit Save. Well, I see a flaw. So, you know, this right here is coming from that background layer. And I don't think we need that interfering with the text. So let's move this up. I'm just going to hold shift and shift it up. So I am distorting it. And then I'm just going to distort this. No, I'm leaving that alone. I'm a little bit upset about the way that is not cut out of the H. So let's fix that. So let me just fix it. We're just going to draw this in. Okay. And then I'm going to select the mask, switch to my paintbrush, flip to my black, and hit it. Alright, that fixed it for me. Okay, File, save our Photoshop document, image size, we're set to 4500. File, export, quick export as PNG. There's my done.